Marco.
Oh. Dang it. Did I already lose the connection? Oh, it looks great. We dropped some frames, but it's okay. We get them back. We always get them back. What's up, everybody? Are we sounding good? Now I'm paranoid from last time when the sound was fucked up for the first, like, 2 minutes. Let me listen. Get them back. Oh, it sounds perfect. Oh, he fixed the problem. He did. He fixed it.
Hey, Marco, don't do this.
What up, everybody in the chat? Thank you guys for being back here. You know what I think I've finally figured out after 2 years with this laptop. I think I've finally figured out what it is that causes the problems where sometimes the stream like freezes and crashes. I think I know what it is. I think it is simply Google Chrome. I think it's simply Google Chrome using too much CPU, GPU. And I know, oh my God, the Reddit mods are already typing, I could have told you that. Oh, yours, obviously. Who uses Google Chrome? Am I right, motherfucker? I'm not one of these computer. I'm not on here like that. You know, I use it. I'm trying to talk my shit. You know what I mean? I don't know how this all works, but apparently Google Chrome uses way motherfucking more GPU, CPU, and PPU and PUPU than any other thing. So it's specifically when I have the YouTube chat open on Google Chrome. And when I open Google, I'm testing it right now. I have it open in Safari. And I'm not noticing any problems. So if we notice the problems, then I was wrong about it being Google Chrome, and it's actually just that this $6,000 laptop wasn't the one. Yes. What up, everybody? Benjamin in the chat. You love to see it. Brandon C. Uriel. More green showing up in the chat today. We like that. Danielle W. Starla. The next Andrew, are you the psychopath that dropped $1,000 on a stream like a month ago? Was that you? Do it again! I'm just playing. Catherine, what up? Chris, took a full load. So true. Who got that? Who wants to take a...
I took a full load.
There you go. Everyone our age switched to Google Chrome and it sucks ass now. Yep. Where's Dale from Collect Direct? Thank you, Joshua. Joshua Blumberg says, Jews for Marco. I'll take it. You better thank a union member. Yep. Paul S. never caught alive before. Welcome, Paul S. We're so happy to have you. Sergio has never made it before, and maybe they have, but Sergio says happy to make it. We made it. Joshua Bloomberg. Yes. Yeah, you know, you guys might have seen on my story on Instagram. Follow me always, Marco, if you don't follow me. I posted a screenshot of a comment I got on the last live stream, and a guy, Jewish guy, was like, I always liked your anti-MLM content, but let me just read exactly what the motherfucker said. It was the gayest shit. Let me see. It was the most, like, senseless, like, read the room, psychopathic comment. Let me see. Story archive. Okay, he commented, Seth Eisenberg, loved your anti-MLM content, but your anti-Israel remarks are a huge turnoff. Unsubbed. Wah, boo-hoo. Who gives a fuck about Seth Eisenberg? Who the fuck is that guy? It's always people, too. I love being a YouTuber. I don't even consider myself a YouTuber, but I love doing this. You know I love to rudely lick barbecue sauce off my fingers in my head, like pretend barbecue sauce when I'm about to catch a body, right? One of my favorite things about this job, if you could call it that, is when people think it matters. You know, like, it's always... I always get the shitty comments from people who, like, they're not people I know. They're not people who I've recognized their name. They're not people who are, like, supporters of mine that I've ever, like, interacted with according to my knowledge, or who have, like, you know, supported me in any tangible way. They were just people watching the content that I post for free, which literally anyone can watch, which millions of people have watched, and they think they think now is the time. I've never left a comment before. Now is the time. I'm going to make my voice heard. I didn't comment any time when I was supportive, because, by the way, on YouTube you can click on the app on the. Thank you, Danielle.
Danielle A. Watson 823 just dropped a bag $20 Canadian.
Put your pussy lips
because I got paid today, boy.
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these
these streets.
She belongs to the streets.
Got paid.
Work.
From that JOB. We love to see it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Danielle. My skin looks great, by the way. It's just amazing. It's just amazing that people are like, oh, I was saying this. On the YouTube Studio app on the phone, you can click on someone's username. Like here, I'll click on a comment from this person, I am legend. And it shows me 14 comments on this channel. They've commented 14 times on my videos. It's always the people who have never commented anything before that are like, you know, the Chase Sanders, Seth Eisenberg types. I would prefer if you did it this way. Don't talk about Israel. Fuck you. How about that? It's my YouTube channel. Go start your own pro-Israel YouTube channel. See where you go. See where you end up. You know? I'm good. So, it's like I'm losing sleep over Seth Eisenberg. Seth Eisenberg, you're giving me free content. You know? So, that's good. That's good. What up, Bad Dog Sports in the chat? You love to see it. Joshua Bloomberg. You know, Joshua Bloomberg. We love it. Thank you, Joshua Bloomberg. Happens to me too. I'm unsubbing, says some guy who left one comment. Good. Go then. You know. I want to know now too, said Rob's neighbor and Tretino. Good questions. Good questions, y'all. I don't know. I'll have to see when you drop an actual, like, I don't think I can see based on the YouTube chat. Oh, here, channel activity. I can. That's crazy. If we're in a live chat and I look at, like, I'm looking at Tretino right now. If I'm looking at live chat and I just scroll, it shows me every time you've commented in live for like the last year. But it needs to be like a comment on an actual video for me to be able to see how many times you've commented on videos total. So yeah. Also, thumbs up the ting.
Thumbs up the ting.
You know, it actually helps notify people that we're live and blah, blah, blah. Bad Dog says, I got 150k subs. I'll survive if one comment Danny unsubs my channel. Exactly. Oh no, Seth Eisenberg and Chase Sanders are leaving. The downfall of my channel is imminent, says Scott and Peter, according to Scott and Peter.
That's hurrah.
By the way, wearing the Losing Fortunes radio t-shirt. It's been a minute since y'all seen this, but I pulled it out today. We love to see that. I'm in late. Did Scott Tex Johnson comment on anyone else's page this last week? Oh, he gotcha? Welcome. You're officially it's a rite of passage if you're gonna be an Always Marco supporter, if you're gonna be a goon. It's a rite of passage to get harassed relentlessly by Scott Johnson. Imagine unsubbing over one opinion. Also unsubbing over like over an opinion that isn't even incongruous with the things that I talk about on this channel. Like somebody replied to that story yesterday and they summed it up perfectly. They said, breaking news, man who cares about injustices consistently cares about injustices. More at 7. Exactly. You like when I talk about scammers and expose scammers, but talking about children being blown up is too far. I've now crossed the line. You're fine with children being blown up, but you're not fine with people being scammed out of their money. We've got work to do, Seth Eisenberg. We've got work to do. Hope the connection is good for y'all. So today, we're going to look at the CEO of Unicity. I've been meaning to do this. We did one of these streams for Rav Malik where we sort of dive deeper into the content that Rav has posted, which there was so much that didn't make it into the video, and I thought I'll do a dedicated live stream to this. Stuart Hughes inarguably has even more content available where he just shows why he is perfectly suited to be the CEO of this company. And by that, I mean he is so well versed in the tactics of deception and language manipulation, which I did highlight in my video, but there's so many more examples that I wasn't able to show, which I would love to share with you guys now. So we're going to look at this video first. It's called Stuart Hughes Vision, and I'm going to put on 1.25 speed, and we're going to try to burn through it. We might not watch all of it, but this video, Stuart Hughes Vision, I think is a great place to start. You saw some clips of it from my main video about Unicity, which Infiltrating a Pyramid Scheme Unicity out now. Go watch it. And we're going to check it out. Bad Dog says, these Unicity motherfuckers love McDonald's so much. Why don't they open their own? Exactly. Good job, Marco. We got into this right away today. Yeah, okay, last thing on that note. Would you guys prefer that I talk about my life and, you know, read comments and whatever at the end? and instead just like get right to it. Because I do try to put the chapter markers right away on the streams, but I know sometimes we spend like an hour before we actually get to the topic and thumbnail. But I don't know, it's a live show. I don't think there's a problem with that. Think about every late night show that's ever existed. They'll be like, tonight we have musical guest blah 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 and an interview with blah blah blah, and then they leave it to the end, and they'll say like, don't go away, we'll be back with Jack White or whatever. So we'll be back with Seth Eisenberg talking about why blowing up kids is okay. But you know, whatever. How about that? How about I do what I want? And you know what? I already try to be considerate of the people who might not want to watch that. I put the chapter markers so they can watch on the replay and skip the stuff they don't care about. And I also cut live streams down into shorter videos frequently, which are just the main topic to make it easier to digest. So, anywho, I have a lot to talk about my life and about Canada and about other matters when I do a stream on my second channel with my cousin Gabby soon. I don't know what day we're going to do it, but Always Marco 2 is the channel. Check it out. Okay, let's watch this.
Mentor, that is Stuart Hughes.
Why the fuck would it play from a different link? Here we go.
Wow. What's with all the broken apples?
Already we have so little context. I guess before this before Stewart's speech here, before he walks out on stage, there was performers doing something with apples. This takes place at an event in Busan, South Korea in 2009, where Stuart Hughes is it's like one of their Unicity conventions in 2009. And yeah, what the fuck was that sparkle sound effect? Disney ass intro. And I guess there was performers doing something with apples, and so his opening bar is what do you say? What's with all the broken apples? Okay, Jerry Seinfeld, you know? Okay. No, it's funny because remember there was performers that were breaking apples, and the crowd goes mild. Listen.
Wow. What's with all the broken apples? Was that good entertainment?
Reaching so hard for crowd interaction. That's how you know somebody sucks as a performer, whether it's music or comedy. Two areas that I've been involved in, two arts that I've been involved in my life in the last decade. And you know somebody's a shit rapper or like a shit performer when they're on stage and they're like, make some noise. What? I said make some noise. And it's like, it's just such a like easy, lazy, like, or comedians too. Comedians, they'll bomb a joke. You know, a joke will bomb, and they'll be like, make some noise if you're feeling good tonight. Make some noise if you're feeling good tonight. And then they'll say some, oh, I love it. They'll be like, by the way, it's my birthday tonight. And then everybody claps. Or they'll be like, I'm 6 months sober, and everybody claps. And they will internalize that applause as though it's applause for their set when it's just actually people being polite, you know? You suck, bro. Stuart Hughes, you suck.
I got news for you. It wasn't entertainment. It was education.
So gay. What's up with that? Yeah. Apples! Who broke all the apples? What happened to them? Airplane food! My girlfriend is 17 and I'm 38. True story. Stuart Hughes versus Michael O. Johnson in the Octagon. I think Michael Johnson, he's more fit. He did Iron Man training and stuff like that. Comedians do that a lot. What up, Alexis? As one does.
Did you notice how these martial artists would take a minute before they did the thing they did to think it in their minds?
So stupid. Yeah, I'm sure it was all manifestation, Stuart. They didn't train Taekwondo for 20 years before the performance.
They studied it out. They saw it happen before it happened. And then it happened.
So good.
You see, everything that we're doing today and tomorrow is designed to teach principles. Even the drummers taught you the power of teamwork, the power of rhythm, the power of preparation, the power of practice. The martial artists also taught you the power of practice, of visualization. The need that we have to see things happen in our mind before they happen in our world. Now, Kurt talked to you a little bit about our beginning. I remember when he first approached me. He came to a presentation that I did in Long Beach, California as a distributor. About a month and a half later, he said to me, I think you need to be inside the company.
Can I just talk about why people in MLMs always say the word inside? I don't know if I've talked about this before, but it's such a weird, almost you wouldn't notice it phenomenon, which is endemic in MLM companies. And I think I only notice this because I do so much, I have so much exposure to these people. They always say the word inside, not inside. I posted a reel yesterday about this guy, Daniel G. Instagram, always Marco. Okay, here we go. I posted a reel. Watch this real quick.
Of life, okay? Because some people, you will always be recruiting inside of life, okay? Because
you will always be recruiting inside of life. What do you mean inside of life? Don't you just mean in life? And they'll always say inside of this company, not in this company. Any other company that's not an MLM would just say in the company or in this company. But in MLMs, for some reason, they specifically use this word inside. I don't know why. It's just, it makes it sound weird, first of all. It's like when they talk about pouring into people. Chill out. Hey, yo. Where I'm from? But inside of life, inside of this company, inside, I don't know, bro. It's just a weird thing. It's almost like some sort of, it paints a picture of being stuck inside something, like you're encapsulated within a system rather than just being, like, if you're in a relationship, it's something you partake in, right? And you could go out of that. But when you're inside of something, it's like a literal, it's like you're not inside of a relationship. You're in a relationship. I'm so smart with this analogy. You're not inside of a relationship. If somebody said like, yeah, inside of my relationship, I blah, 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 you'd be like, what the fuck are you, is English not your first language? Like, you mean in your relationship? You wouldn't say inside of your relationship. Just like you wouldn't say inside of my company. Unless you're talking about like the literal building that it's within, like inside the building, the walls. But even then you'd probably say like inside the building I work at or inside the building where my company is. When they say inside of, it's like an even more visual example of being literally inside. You know, like if somebody said to me inside of my relationship, I'd be like, are they locking you in the house? You know, I don't know. Let's see what y'all think about that. Trey Tino loves getting men inside. So fucking true. He really does.
I took a full load.
Rav was not in the Rav would have been probably like 20 years old or 15 years old. I don't know how old he is, but he's probably in his mid-30s. Yeah, Rav, this took place 16 years ago. This video. It's from 2009. Viz Mayhem says, a subconscious trigger to use more intimate words when relaying a message? Maybe. It's probably a trigger for the rest of the group. Keeps you on track and being a part of something. It's so weird. It's interesting. Pouring into, I'm inside the goon commune. Exactly. You are. You're within the walls of it. Could also be to subconsciously wire you to feel like you are boxed in. Yeah, true. Inside equals in the know. Yep, true. Yeah, like here he's doing it in 2009. I posted the reel of Daniel G yesterday doing it in 20 whatever. Shit, I also need to remind me I need to download that reel from Instagram and post it on TikTok and YouTube as well. This discussion is making me check for my sneaky links. Go ahead.
And we began to talk. One thing led to another, and I developed a confidence that he could be that part of our business that I could never be. I have skills like you, but I also have areas that I'm not strong, like you. In network marketing, we find that by sponsoring people who have strengths where we have weaknesses, we become strong as a team.
This is also a relevant point. He uses the term network marketing to describe Unicity's structure. So when Rav and these other people tell you, we're not a network marketing, we're not an MLM, we're digital franchising, it's just more evidence that this is a made-up nonsensical term and that they're lying to you, which it's funny because even the term network marketing is a lie. Even the term network marketing, multi-level marketing is a euphemism to disguise what's really going on, which is a Ponzi scheme, a pyramid scheme.
I knew that from my own experience in building an organization. I looked at the leaders that were my colleagues when I was a distributor. I think of Todd Smith. Todd and I are very...
John Smith? It's crazy how I go back and it doesn't matter. I know this topic of MLM so well at this point that the little things that I point out are just so universal throughout MLM. Like, we can go watch this video from 2009 and he's name dropping Todd Smith, which is so close to the fake made-up name John Smith that I created, this character who's meant to represent like just a Joe Schmo, a nobody. That's it, John Smith, you know? The way they worship these people like they're, you know, Walt Disney or something. Like they're Steve Jobs. You literally can't make this shit up. Todd Smith. Joseph Smith, yeah. Get your goon tax and bags out of the way so Marco the narco, Mooch the goon, the shyster can focus on the content layer. So true.
very different. But we are united in our mission and goal, but with very different skill sets. But by coming together, we were strong. I think about Rick Jordan, who was another one of my colleagues when I was a distributor. Different skill set than mine, but we were united in our purpose, and so those different skill sets came together to create strength in the organization. As I mentioned in my opening remarks, it's not possible for any one person to build a great organization in network marketing. You see, we call it network marketing because it takes a network to do it.
See, calling it network marketing again. QAnon says Obama. So true. Obama. And donates $5 on Super Chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Appreciate you dropping that bag upon my head top.
Not just one person. Not even really two people. But a whole group of people with complementary skills. United in purpose, united in vision, willing to pay the price in sacrifice and practice.
Also, pay the price. Wow, this is so crazy. I talked on the last stream about how when I was in South Korea, which is funny enough where Stuart is during this video, when I was in South Korea and I was gifted that Amway Achieve catalog with all of the top earners in South Korea, the husband and wife couple who gifted it to me, one of them wrote, "See you at the top," and the other one wrote, "Pay the price." And here Stewart is using the term pay the price. Once again, more proof that every MLM is the exact same thing underneath, whatever their product is. The only difference between an MLM that sells skincare or an MLM that sells magical powder that supposedly cures all your ailments is exactly that, just the window dressing to disguise the scam. The language that they use is the same. The false equivalences and euphemisms that they use are the same. The manipulation tactics are the same. The brainwashing is the same. And ultimately, the belief is the same. Follow your mentor, recruit 5 who recruit 5, and you'll have a Lamborghini one day and all of our dreams will come true.
That allow them to do the sort of things that you just saw happen. I heard your oohs and ahs as these amazing feats were done. But do you remember or do you realize how many hours of doing that thing over and over and over again had to precede this public display of success?
What he's working towards here is the false equivalence, the age-old false equivalence, that in order to have success in something, you need to practice repetition. The reason it's a false equivalence in this example is because in one, the martial artists who did the performance with the apples, which took place before his speech, yes, that's true. In order for them to be able to do those athletic, amazing feats of athleticism, they had to practice for many, many hours. They had to do constant repetition. However, it's a false equivalence because in MLM, it doesn't actually matter how much work you do, how much time you put in, and how much repetition you enact, because it's fundamentally flawed and it's fundamentally fraud from just simply looking at the structure of it itself. This is something that a lot of people get roped in with. Like, recently I met up with Julie Anderson, who's also an anti-MLM creator. And we met, it was our first time meeting in person, but 2 years ago we did a multi-level misery episode. It was one of the first ones. And she talked about how she had a background in doing, like she was I might get it wrong, cross country or Ironman competitions, and how you actually had to, no, triathlon, I think it was. And like, yeah, you do, fitness is one of those things where you have to, consistently do it. Repetition, 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 more reps, more steps, more everything. But they sort of misappropriate these principles, which are true in many other things, to their scam, which is why it's a false equivalence. It's why it's an apples to oranges comparison. Also, I love Stewart's old school, button-up jacket here, like, where it's like the two-tiered buttons, the side-by-side buttons, and it's like over to one side, like he's like he's an Italian mobster or something.
You don't get here until you paid the price out there. Now, Kurt talked a little bit about vision. He talked about the goals that we set nearly 3 years ago when we...
Oh, yeah, when me and Julie met up, we filmed a video as well. Just a conversation about, last time was more just about her experience in Monate and Ray Higdon's Rank Makers. This time we talked about actually being a creator. It was interesting because it was the first time I committed to video a collab with another anti-MLM creator. At the time when I spoke to Julie the first time, she was still really early in it. Now she's got like 15,000 plus subscribers. So, yeah, shout out Julie.
We took the positions that we now have. Our goals were big goals.
Treytina says, to be fair, it's men's fashion. It's 2009's men's fashion. It can do like 3 things. True.
You heard him tell you that we are well...
Come on, Sharia Smith. That
Sharia
tax.
Smith just dropped a bag, $20 Canadian and 74 cents. Do the goons have a toolkit?
The goons will soon have a toolkit because I was actually working on it today. I'm working on a free guide that people can download, which is sort of what I consider the most illuminating, important, helpful information from all of the years I've been doing this anti-MLM work, as well as all the books and books I've read and experts I've spoken to on the topic. So it's a free guide. It's going to be just like a PDF thing that you can scroll through on your own. It's going to be completely free. And, it's things like combating cult mind control, freedom of mind, Ponzi-nomics, my interviews with like Doug Brooks, Steve Hassan, Robert Fitzpatrick. And as well as my own experience. You've seen me just on this stream already point out things that I've noticed, like John Smith and the inside of and the false equivalence between sports and MLM. So it's going to be something to help people who either have left MLM or they're in MLM and they're questioning, or they have a friend or a loved one who's in MLM and they want to figure out a way to talk to them that's not going to alienate them or create a rift and turn into some argument. So yeah, that's what I'm working on in terms of a toolkit for the goons. So yeah, appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. I really means a lot.
On our path ahead.
Guide free. Marco's Bill's not free. Well, I mean, I don't know. I just think thus far in my life, doing the right thing, what you know in your heart to be the right thing, and doing good to help people has always led to good karma. So I don't know if karma is something you believe in or whatever, but hey, Alexis, there you go. Paying my goon tax. Long live our cult leader. Thank you so much. We love that. We love that so much.
Money. Knowledge.
Thank you. Really appreciate that, Alexis. You're the GOAT.
Ahead of schedule to achieve those goals. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the ultimate goal, the ultimate vision. Let me sum it up. We intend...
Look at how many people are here. compared to my video about Unicity, you saw there was like tens of thousands. Here, the floor space is filled up mostly by these round tables. So it spreads everybody out more and makes it look like potentially there's a lot more people, or the room is much fuller than it actually is. Also, LOL, that there's like nothing on the tables except a bottle of water. But in the most recent video from 2024, you saw that like the equivalent of this entire floor space was filled with people. So it's really sad to see, but this company has just grown insanely over the last 30 years. Even the last 16 years since this was filmed.
To be the biggest, the best.
Yeah, like if you removed all the tables and just had just the actual people, this wouldn't even fill up 10% of the room, you know?
To be the biggest, the best, the most dominating company in network marketing in the world.
So hear that. Just so you catch that. His goal is to be the biggest, the best, the most dominating company in network marketing in the world. Unicity, which this is a company that even now in 2025, 16 years later, doesn't even have their own Wikipedia page. In 2009, he professes, what's the word? When somebody speaks in, like when they make declarations, he declares that the goal is for Unicity under his leadership to be the biggest, the best, the most dominating company in network marketing in the world. And 16 years later, still under his leadership, they don't even have their own Wikipedia page. One of the ways that you can figure out whether your cult leader is actually a good person or not is to see if the promises they make and the things they say publicly actually end up being true in real life. If your cult leader tells you, or if some person you look up to who you don't know if they're a cult leader yet, or you haven't realized it, if they're telling you, and this doesn't even have to be a cult leader, this could be like another individual who's using coercive control, this could be your boss, this could be like your significant other. If they're promising you, yeah, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, I do this, I do this, I do that, I can do this, and it never happens, well, believe people's actions, not their words, you know? Spec says, quote, dominating, not helpful, not life-changing. Yeah, exactly. The biggest, the best, the most dominating. You know, that's also telling, I think. Yeah. Burger Baron says, you're a cult leader, but you're always right. So true. That is actually, I'm the exception.
Now, I want to repeat that again so that you really get it. We are fully committed to becoming the biggest, the best, and the most dominant force in network marketing in our world today. What does it
in our world? Not the world. In our world.
Mean to have that kind of a goal? What does the vision look like?
Also, him repeating it is just so padding the runtime, you know?
Well, the first thing we have to do is we have to think about who is the competition.
Amway.
Today, there are 4 network marketing companies that do more than $1 billion US in sales every year.
I think he doesn't name them, but I'm pretty sure it was like Amway, Herbalife, one whose name I can't say, and I don't know what the other one would be.
4, that's all. We will be the 5th. We will be the 5th.
Spoiler alert, it's now 16 years later. They were not the 5th. They did not end up, in fact, being the 5th. Sorry to tell you. I don't know. I think that's fair. I gave you if we're looking at this 16 years later, I don't know. Is that too soon for me to like hold you to your word? You know? Oh, I don't think so. Let me fucking fix this here. Make it a bit. What's the color temperature? Is it? Turn it up a bit. I can be blue, or I can be brown. I can be blue. I can.
There are.
Mocha Sneak says, what do you think of Dave Ramsey supporting MLMs? I've had it on my to-do list for a long time to do a video about Dave Ramsey and his support of MLMs. Yeah, I think it's horrible. I think Dave Ramsey is part of the old guard of sort of finance gurus whose advice was sound for a previous generation, but it simply doesn't make sense today generally. Um, beans and rice, rice and beans. Dave, I'm sorry to tell you, brother, but you are from a previous time and the world has moved on. There comes a point, which I've experienced this as well. For years, I was so determined to simply minimize my cost of living as much as possible. I gamified it. You know what I would do sometimes? On the first of the month, I would do a challenge where I didn't spend any money of any kind for an entire week. No groceries, no gas, nothing. I would make sure that on the 31st, the day before, I did all the final errands or whatever I needed to do. And my goal was to make protect my money at least for 1 week without buying anything. No going out to eat, no Starbucks, no, literally nothing. Nothing. And, shopping at the cheaper grocery stores, buying things in bulk, paying off your car, paying off your debt so you're not paying interest, paying off the car so you're not paying interest, et cetera, et cetera. Putting the eco mode on my Toyota and driving slower so that I don't burn as much gas and have to fill up gas as much, on and on and on. And it comes to a point where it's like, okay, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't party, I don't blow my money on dumb shit, I don't buy clothes, I'm not subscribing to streaming services. I'm literally doing what I was told to do. I'm doing the smart, frugal things, and I'm still not getting ahead, and it's still not working, and I'm a smart person and I work hard. Something is askew and it's not me. And that's when I decided to sort of just unplug completely and leave Canada, because I realized that, one of the straws, it wasn't the final straw, but one of the close to final straws was when I paid off my car in 2021. And I thought, wow, that's an extra $400 and some going back into my pocket every month that I don't have to spend on this car payment. And then in 2022, my rent was increased by $100. Then in 2023, it was increased by $100. Then at the end of 2023, when they wanted to renew, when I got the renewal contract from the building, a new building management, they said that they wanted to increase my rent by nearly $400 on top of the $200 that it had already increased in the last 3 years. And so it's like, if I'm not getting, if they're not screwing me here, they're screwing me there. And yeah, I just decided I was done playing the game. I honestly just decided I was done playing. So, that's why I left Canada completely, because, at some point I think I'm just deluding myself. And for the longest time, I had like the most conservative, pick yourself up by your bootstraps mentality, until not only were there no bootstraps, but there was actually like no shoes on my feet. I had the same pair of shoes for 10 years. I remember making a post on my Patreon about that a long time ago, about how there was a photo of me in grade 12 where I had this one pair of Nike shoes on, and like it was literally 10 years later that I had the exact same pair of shoes. I had the same pair of shoes for a decade. They weren't my only pair of shoes, but they were like my everyday shoe, and I had them for 10 years, so it's like, I'm chilling. Chris M says budgeting, don't get it. Cards and slots, that's a language I speak. Yeah, I was lucky to find my house in 2020. Nice. Appreciate it, Mocha Sneaks. Right now, I'm in Canada. Right now, I'm staying in an undisclosed location in Canada for a short period. I'll be leaving again soon. I'll be going somewhere. I'm thinking about Asia again. I'm thinking about Lebanon, actually. Things are a bit crazy over there right now, but yeah, we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Let me read you guys' comments here real quick. Opine says the repeating is culty, like Dr. Umar. Not who I expected you to say when talking about like culty. I kind of fuck with Dr. Umar. He's hilarious. Sharia says, I'm trying to get my bag up so I can get a call and tell you about my friend who is in the insurance MLM that shall not be named. What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. Thank you, Sharia. I appreciate you. You know, I'll gladly consider your donation from today you know, towards the cost of that. If you're keen on that, I'm definitely happy to talk to anybody who wants to share their story. Goon gruel for the diet. Yep. Tratino says, this is why I drink and smoke and do drugs. So true. Hello, Tratino. I want to pretend to be into feet for this joke, but it's too gross to make. Unhinged. Chillin' and chillin'. Come to Toronto. Yeah, I'm thinking about a Toronto link up. I'm definitely thinking about a Toronto link up for sure. Man, the love of my past life lives in Toronto, but you know, if there is a God, he has a plan. You know, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll come back together one day. Maybe we won't. Who knows? Alex Wolf says, I wore the same pair of underwear every day for 10 years, never washed them. Respect to that commitment for sure. All right.
There are some pretenders who think they're going to get there before we do.
But mind you, reminder, he's talking about how there's 4 MLM companies that do over $1 billion each year, and they will be the 5th. And now he's talking smack about other MLMs being like, there are some pretenders, which is so funny and so ironic because literally every MLM that isn't Amway is a pretender because they're all just Amway. As a matter of fact, on the last stream where I talked about how there's only one MLM, we read Robert Fitzpatrick's article where he's explaining that every single MLM that exists today, even including Amway, is just a tentacle of Nutrilite. Actually, go back even further, NutriBio. So, yeah. And funny because around this time, Stuart, the main product that was like being pushed by Unicity was called NutriBios, which, no, it was called Bios Life. Correction, Bios Life, which is basically NutriBio, you know, in a different way of saying it. They're all the same.
But do you remember?
Oh, LOL Specs, I'm not in Toronto. What you mean? So funny.
Remember the story of the tortoise and the hare?
Anyone who's doing the Toronto meetup has to wear a suit and ball out. So true.
The hare, the rabbit, moved off fast, but was easily distracted. Took paths that didn't really lead to where they wanted to go. Maybe we're the tortoise, maybe we're the turtle. Steady focus, day after day, step after step. But
another false equivalence. They want you to be happy, slowly grinding your life away in this MLM because they're trying to make you think of yourself as the tortoise when, no, actually, everyone who's passing you by, it's actually true. It's because they're doing something that they're actually, you know, building towards something.
I need to prove a point.
And what you are doing is not that. Fuck, I just closed it by accident. How the fuck did we
The
do that?
rabbit moved off fast, but was easily distracted. Took paths that didn't really lead to
We're putting on 1.5.
where they wanted to go. Maybe we're the tortoise, maybe we're the turtle. Steady focus.
All the attendees of the Goon meetup in Toronto have to write lists of leads. So true. Oh, I disappeared. I'm invisible. Wow. Guys, we're being hacked. Okay, I guess I'm back. You know, you've seen I didn't touch anything. It just decided to nope out of here. So it is what it is. Yeah, all of the attendees at the Toronto link up will have to write lists off their heads. MLM is the hare, though. They want to do business fast and multiply. Wow, great point, Benjamin. Yeah, once again, everything in MLM is a lie. Everything they claim, the opposite is true. He's AI? Yeah. I'm AI.
Day after day, step after step. But unlike the story, this tortoise is getting faster by the day. We're getting stronger by the day. Today, in network marketing, the #1 company in our industry did $7.2 billion US in sales last year.
Gotta be Amway.
7.2 billion. Number 2 did 2.6 billion. Big difference between number 1 and number 2. And the temptation is to think that number 1 is a big company. Oh, I guess it's big in some senses, number 1 in our industry, but $7.2 billion is not a big company. In this country of Korea, the number 1 company, Samsung Electronics, did $100 billion in sales last year. $100 billion. That's bigger. In Japan, the number one company did $230 billion in sales last year. That's Toyota Corporation. That's a big number. The number one company in the world, worldwide, number one, last year, did $379 billion in sales. That is a big number. In
7 billion in tools. So funny. Jay Velez saw this baddie on IG, posted herself at one of those annual conferences for Herbalife. Thought that company wasn't flourishing anymore, but I guess they still are. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, nobody gets taken for a ride and bilked out of their money like a bad gal with a thick bunda who's never had to use her brain for anything, you know? It's a shame. And they're the most successful recruiters, too. They honeypot dudes. They be on Bumble, you know, recruiting, acting like they're interested in dudes, but just like inviting them for a date or to a party. Come to this party, and it turns out to be like an Amway pitch meeting or Herbalife pitch meeting. Haram. Super haram. Yeah, I love that he's using Samsung. You're not Samsung. By the way, again, this is a company, Unicity, that in 2025 still doesn't have their own Wikipedia page. Can't make this shit up. Are you selling cars or TVs? Bigger number, better person. I would have been the best recruiter. So true, Trey Tino. MLM is so haram. Trey Tino says AI is the only explanation for these gains. You know what's funny is a couple people since I've been back in Canada have been like, bro, you lost weight. It's funny because I've actually gained 30 pounds since they last saw me. The last time I was in Canada around Christmas, I was like the lightest I've been since I was 19 years old because I was training Muay Thai and eating in a calorie deficit every day. And the weight was just disappearing off of me. And then since February, starting in the month I did in Vietnam with my bodyguard friends, starting there, I was trying to gain. I was eating in a calorie surplus, or at least trying to. And then from there, I just got more locked in with it. So I've been on a calorie surplus diet these last few months and training, trying to, you know, increase the intensity, not doing Muay Thai, not doing intense cardio, just weightlifting. And I actually am 30 pounds heavier, but because I'm more muscle and less fat, it appears that I'm actually smaller. It appears that I've lost weight, but it's not true.
In fact, that's so big that company does more sales in a week than the number one company in our industry does all year long. That's big.
Spoiler alert, it's Walmart. The company he's about to mention is Walmart. And he's sort of saying the quiet part out loud here and doing a self-snitch without even realizing it, because right now, what we call direct sales, and you have to take this with a grain of salt, because this number, this statistic is informed in part by the deceptive accounting and self-reporting of the MLM apparatus themselves, okay? So with that disclaimer in mind, what is referred to as direct selling or the direct selling industry accounts for 1% of United States retail sales every year. 1%. As a matter of fact, it's less than 1%. And here's Stewart, who is the CEO of Unicity, which is one company that is part of the who knows how many hundreds, if not 1,000 or more, MLM companies in the United States, all of whom combined make up what is considered 1% of what is called direct selling. So it's such a negligible amount. It's such a negligible amount that for those who actually know the truth, what he's saying here is a self-snitch, because he's pointing out one of the big red flags of the big lie of MLM, which is that, yeah, the biggest company in the world makes in a week or in a month, whatever he said, what our entire industry makes in a whole year. Shouldn't that tell you something? Shouldn't that be a clear indication that what you guys are doing is not actually something that the general public is involved with or like wants to buy? And then, of course, you dig deeper and you find out, oh, yeah, actually, none of these companies can truthfully, honestly say they direct sell anything because, oh, I died. Oh, I'm dying. Why is that happening? Because the vast majority of their sales are just internal consumption anyways. You know, it's their own distributors buying the stuff. So, yeah, he's doing a self-own here, but, you know, doesn't realize it. This is sort of like the would you rather have $1 million right now or a penny doubled every day for 30 days? It's a self-own because you're pointing out how explosive the numbers can be when you're using exponential math. You know, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 5 times 5 times 5. They apply that to the penny principle to say, oh yeah, actually the penny is more money. But it's a self-own, it's a self-snitch because, yeah, if you apply that to any MLM's recruiting model, you'll see the same thing, that the numbers explode to be so unfathomable that you just can tell it's a fraud. But yeah, same, but different.
That's the vision. That company, $379 billion US dollars per year in sales, that company, it's not an oil company. It's not some big fancy company in New York City. No, that company is headquartered in a small town in Arkansas, the southern states of the United States.
He could pass as Ed Milet's brother the way he talks, right? I have changed and manipulated time to be the 5th biggest company in network marketing.
That company, the number 1 company in the world in terms of size and success, is Walmart. Walmart, a distribution company. What do? We distribute things. Walmart distributes things. Now, who would have believed that Walmart would become what it is today?
Stupidest, weakest false equivalence. Walmart is a distribution company. What do? We distribute things. Okay, now juxtapose this with what he just said right before, which was that the biggest company, Walmart, does what our entire industry does in, I don't remember if he said 1 month or 1 week, but insert whichever one he said there. And then he goes on to say, well, they're a distribution company. We distribute things. Well, if you guys are basically doing the same thing, which is what you're implying here, that there's a path forward to being such a huge company, to being one of the biggest companies in the world because you do the same thing that Walmart does, then how come you guys are not even the 5th biggest in your industry? And how come your industry combined, even the biggest company in it, doesn't do even a fraction of what Walmart does in a month or whatever he said? It's like, which is it? Oh my God, what the fuck is going on with this? Let me make sure you know what? Let me make sure this shit is like plugged in good. Professional YouTuber, by the way. Professional YouTuber going on 6 years of this as a profession, you know? Fuck me. Okay. Danielle, thank you for this comment. She says, Marco is our baddie with a fat ass. Thank you, so true. He was a baddie with a fatty. He was a fairy. He was a scammer. He was a scammer. I wish they would self-report their fraud. So funny. Peace out, Catherine. This conference is boring AF, right? It's happening because the Toronto meetup date has not been set. True. They can turn Walmart into any company to fit their needs. They're a retailer, like us. They're a distribution company, like us. They sell products, like us. False equivalence, cope. Exactly. False equivalence and cope. Copium. Coca-Cola. Just joined. Is this the Walmart truck driver union? Yes. A friend attempted to get me and others to join WFG, and the mentor, who just wants to offer free training and help, admits to only selling segregated funds and argues these are really good for all ages. So stupid. Pickle says, used my silly JOB to invest. Walmart has been part of my portfolio since about 2006. Trust, Walmart does something. I'm laughing my ass off. Of all companies, LOL, I'm dead. Hell yeah, Pickle. 2006 is also when Stuart Hughes became the head of Unicity. Uh-oh, Alexis going to work. Uh-oh. J-O-B, boo. Peace out, appreciate you.
50 years ago, Walmart didn't even exist. It wasn't even alive as a company. And today, it's the world's biggest company. What do you think we can do? Do you think the world will always focus only on lower prices? That was the secret to Walmart's success. Give the customer what they wanted, lower prices, cheap things. But I believe that the public is hungering for something far more than lower prices. I believe that the public desperately wants, hungers for a better health, for more hope, and most of all, for freedom.
More self-snitching. The public doesn't want cheaper prices. Yes, they do. The public doesn't want cheaper prices. They want better health. Okay, eat healthy and exercise. Problem solved. Hope and freedom. How do you sell hope and freedom, Stuart? Pray tell. Well, we have an opportunity, direct selling, network marketing, recruit 5 people who recruit 5 people. Definitely not a pyramid scheme.
This world is filled with people that have no freedom. None. They worry about just having enough money to feed their own family. They worry about having enough money to put their family in a home. They worry about whether they're going to lose their job tomorrow because their boss doesn't really like them. They worry almost every minute of every hour of their day because they have no freedom.
Talking like a fucking robot?
I believe the hunger for freedom is the most basic, fundamental, driving motivator in our humanity today. People die to try and be free.
Writing notes, oh my God.
People don't die for lower prices. They die because they want to be able to take control of their life. They want to be able to say, I have enough money that my children can have what they need. They want to be able to say, I have enough time to do the things that are important to me, to take time with the people that I love the most. They want to have enough of the things that matter most in this world. That's called freedom. Now, that's what we offer, freedom. So at Walmart, the largest company in the world, a distributing company, they offer these lower prices. We are just getting started. We are just beginning. But we offer this much more important thing called freedom. We offer better health. We offer hope. But deep down in the very roots of our existence as a company, our offering is to offer people freedom.
Padding the runtime with the repetition, you know?
Freedom from worry, freedom from stress, freedom from the outside world pushing in on them to crush them down and to take their life away.
To take their life away. What do you mean by that, Stuart? The outside world crushing them down, taking their life away. This is just fear-mongering, thought-stopping, sensational bullshit, if it wasn't obvious. What's the price of freedom, Stuart? How exactly do you sell that? Is that a product or a service? I thought that was a subjective thing. How exactly do you sell? What's the packaging look like? How do you ship that? How do you ship me a box of freedom? Get rid of low prices. The people are rabbling for transcendental principles. Exactly. Drink every time he says freedom. I'd be dead. Better health. Do they have a health plan? Because Walmart employees do. Bodied.
That's what we offer. And I believe that there are millions who want this so desperately, but they do not know where to find it. That is where we come in.
And how is that different than what literally every other MLM, which is promising freedom, does, Stuart? Spoiler alert, it's not different.
That's where practice comes in. That's where vision comes in. That's where the power of what you've seen this morning in these two demonstrations come in. Now, I want to take just a few minutes to share my own journey to freedom. So I hope you'll indulge me. I was born...
Oh my God, shut the fuck up. I hope you'll indulge me, he says to the captive audience of paid guests that dressed up in suits and in black tie attire to be at this conference. I hope you'll indulge me. It was a cold day in September. This is turned into like a recipe that you would read online. The perfect holiday pumpkin bisque. You look at the recipe. Jump to page 26 for the actual recipe. It starts, it was a cold day in September 1993. I had just come inside from playing outside. Shut the fuck up.
In a very small town in southwestern Utah. My father left school.
I was born at a very young age.
When he was just 15 years old because he had to. His father was ill, and so my father went to work to take care of his own family and never finished even high school. My mother left school when she was 17, never finished high school. But they were good, hardworking people. And I grew up in that small town that became a rich town.
I was born in a small town, Las Vegas, Nevada.
My father was a policeman, so we didn't have very much money.
The irony, his dad being a policeman and now he's a fucking fraudster.
But I looked around me and I saw all these people with money, and it built in me a hunger to have money. I would ask my parents, can we have this thing? Can we have that thing? And the answer is, we don't have enough money. I'm sorry. And I thought to myself, when I'm old, when I'm a dad, I'm going to be able to say, yes, we can do that. I'm going to have the money. Well, when I got into school, I was so busy dreaming of what was going to happen to me that I didn't do my schoolwork. And so I almost didn't make it out of high school. In fact, I graduated at the very bottom of my class. I was the last person to qualify for graduation in my entire school class.
It's just amazing. It's just amazing. Thank you, The Pickle. Wow. Much love. Nice to catch you live again.
Dropped a bag $20.
Tired and might pass out. So I want to make sure this gets out before that. Keep doing what you do, my G. Thank you, The Pickle. Appreciate that
No. Money.
Hey, Marco, don't do this.
It's all about residual income.
Thanks, Marco.
Appreciate that. Thank you. These people always have some, as part of their rags to riches story, they always have something about how, like, they'd failed in their previous business, or in this case, they failed in school. And they use this as a way of being like, I didn't make it in school, but the MLM is what saved me. I didn't make it when I had this business, that business, this business, that business. But when I joined this MLM, that's when I became successful. This is also a self-snitch and a self-own, because they want the audience to look at this as, wow, everything else is such a scam. Everything else is bullshit. This is the thing that's going to help the underdog. This is the thing that's going to help the little guy. This is the second chance. To me, however, it just confirms what I smell on these people from a mile away, which is that they had no business acumen, they had very low intelligence, and instead of actually making an honest living, they decided to scam people instead with this fraudulent promise of freedom through a fraudulent method called multi-level marketing, which they call multi-level marketing, which, make no mistake, MLM is fraud, and it's easily demonstrable as to why it's fraud, because it's based on a mathematically impossible endless chain recruiting scheme, which by design, the majority of people have to lose money in order for anyone to make money. Don't ever listen to these people. Don't ever let them tell you, oh, it's not a scam because some people make money. That is the exact point of what a scam is. As a matter of fact, that's what makes something a scam, is that some people make money. It wouldn't be a long-standing successful scam if nobody made money. But virtually nobody makes money, so that the very few who do can make money. That's exactly what a scam is. If literally nobody made money, yeah, you're right, it wouldn't be a scam, because nobody would be profiting off of it. There wouldn't be a very successful scammer if that was the case. It
wasn't because I was stupid. It was because I was a dreamer.
Burger Baron, Marco, I love your anti-MLM content, but you mispronounced my home state of Nevada wrong, unsubbed. Or is it Nevada? I don't know.
I wanted to see things bigger than the school teachers wanted to give me. I came out of that and I went to work selling shoes. That was my job. I was a shoe salesman. 90 cents an hour, less than $1.
Hashtag make Stewart a shoe salesman again. Go shine my shoes, Stewart. Bring me a coffee.
An hour I was being paid to sell shoes. But I was the best shoe salesman anywhere. And if you came in to buy shoes or even look for shoes, I was going to sell you some shoes. And a couple of guys came in one day and they said, "You're so good at selling shoes, we think you could sell something else. Why don't you come and see us?"
Such a stupid fake story.
And they got me involved selling life insurance.
It couldn't possibly be. I know he won't say the name of the company, but could it possibly be that before Unicity, Stewart was a part of the MLM whom shall not be named because of reasons? Needed to turn up the ISO on the camera because the Natural light outside has faded a bit.
I didn't know anything about life insurance. My father had been so sick, no life insurance people had ever called on us, so I didn't know anything about it. But I went out and I sold life insurance. I looked in the newspaper every day and I recorded every new wedding, every new birth, and I'd call everybody in the newspaper and ask them if they wanted to buy life insurance. And most of them would say no, but some would say yes, and I became successful selling life insurance. And then I said to myself, I want to be one of those fancy stockbrokers on Wall
Stewart sells shoes by the shoe store. Yep. What up, Grace? Appreciate you, King Trollers.
Street. The people told me, you can't do that. The people on Wall Street, they have masters of business administration degrees. They come from country club families. I didn't even know what a country club was. We were so poor. To me, I thought a country club must be a club out in the country.
You're so fucking funny, Stuart. You're so funny and charming with your soulless, dead eyes. Mwah.
But I started knocking on doors. I went to every brokerage.
I thought a country club was a club in the country. I'm so broke I couldn't pay attention.
Firm, every Wall Street firm in my city, every single one. I'd walk in and say, I'm Stuart Hughes, I want to be a stockbroker. And they says, tell us about yourself. I'd tell them and say, no thanks, you're not what we're looking for.
I'm always Marco, go fuck yourself.
Again and again. And so I went around to all of them a second time. No. I went around a third time. They said, we know you. No, go away. And finally, one of them said, okay, we'll give you a chance.
Such a boomer version of like getting a job, you know, how like boomers be like, boomers are so unrealistic. You don't need to fill an online application. You need to print out your resume and you walk down there and you look them in the eye and you put on a nice suit and you shake their hand. You'll be amazed how far a firm handshake and a nice suit can get you. It's like so out of touch. Hi there, I really want to work here at this restaurant. I'm just showing my initiative. They don't give a fuck. I'm just showing my initiative. I'd like to work here, and I'm showing up in a suit today because I really need this job. And I've done that before. I literally did that before. And it's like, yeah, okay. I don't ever think that me doing that was actually like the differentiator between me getting the job or not, honestly.
But the first time you screw up, we're going to fire you. I said, just all I want's a chance. I went to work. I made 300 phone calls every day for 22 months. 300 phone calls a day for 22 months. 100 times a day, people would answer the phone and talk to me. And I would offer my services. 98.5% of the time, they would say, no, thank you. We're not interested in you. 98.5% of the time, I failed. But I didn't stop. 1.5% of the time, they said yes. And on a 1.5% success ratio, I became the number 4 broker in the world for one of the largest Wall Street firms in the world.
I wish you would say who, because I would love to validate that.
Persistence. Persistence.
Literally the Ray Kroc thing from the movie The Founder. Persistence. Persistence. Just keep pounding the pavement. Bootstraps.
One of the largest Wall Street firms in the world. Persistence. Persistence.
Why couldn't he say the name of it? I mean, it's not even in MLM. It's not even a competitor to whatever his current thing is, right? So why couldn't you just say the name? You had no problem saying Walmart's name.
The power of staying in it until you get good enough at it that people want what you got.
Another false equivalence is that even if his probably made up story was true, he's saying that, you know, the longer you stay in it, the more, you know, the better chance you have. Well, again, in MLM, it's not true. In MLM, the only way to beat the impossible odds is to literally be willing to scam people out of their money and walk over them and lie and deceive people in mass numbers. It's the only way to do it. And, you know, literally to be a psychopath. Treytino says, I hate to disagree with our Lord and Savior Marco, but I actually have only gotten jobs from walking in and getting that personality hire. Okay. You got to schmooze with the manager sometimes. Okay, fair enough.
That's where you are today. Some of you are already there. You've reached the point where you're so good at what you do that no one can say no to you. I've talked to a few of you recently. You've told me, without being arrogant or prideful. You've said, I feel unstoppable today. No one can stop me. And you know what? You're right. No one can stop you.
I'm unstoppable. I was in the rain. I'm unstoppable. This girl is on fire. But it's Stuart.
Except for you. You're the only one that can stop you. You're the only one. They can't stop you. In fact, they want what you've got. This is a leadership business. It's a business about leaders. And it's a business to grow leaders. And you are the leader growers of our company. Bobby talked about Thanksgiving and harvest time. He talked about Korea being a farming society. Well, we're farmers. We just grow leaders. That's
what I mean. Reaching in the bag for any way to like conflate things. You're farmers? I'm a farmer of sorts. I farm leaders. So technically we do the same thing.
That's what we do. We plant the seed of hope. We plant the seed of freedom.
Tretino says, to be fair, I'm a hooker now. Respect. Yeah, I don't know about the goon meetup in Toronto, Tretino. I wouldn't want to keep you from your hooking.
Freedom. We nourish it. We water it. And then we take care of it as it grows into another leader.
What up, Planet Luna?
One more leader. Two more leaders.
I feel uncrustable today, so true.
5 more leaders.
I feel feastable today.
1,000 more leaders. And pretty soon, we have rooms like this in Japan, in Thailand, in Germany, in Switzerland, in the United States. Pretty soon the rooms get bigger and bigger, all filled with the leaders that we're growing, building, strengthening. That's our job. We're leader builders. That's what we do. So how are we going to become the most dominant force in network marketing? The biggest, the best, the most dominant? It's by giving people what they want. It's by giving people what they hunger for. The desire to be free. The desire to be a leader in their own life, not a follower. Not someone that lets other people make their decisions for them. No, people want to be free. They want to be the leader. They want to be the kind of person that decides what's going to happen to them. That's what they want. And that's what we give them. Do you think 1 million people would want to be leaders? I think so. I think 10 million want to be leaders. I think 100 million want to be leaders.
Okay. Again, with the impossible math. If you had 100 million people who were at a rank in Unicity that could be considered a leader, you would have, you would be recruiting people from alternate dimensions, aliens, people in other galaxies, because there's simply not enough people on Earth. Never mind in 2009 when this video was filmed.
I think the world's most
I love his slam poetry inflection and volume changes. So funny. Leaders! That's what we're building. You're farmers. We're farmers, but we farm leaders. It's like the Jonah Hill thing in 21 Jump Street. Raising my voice. You know?
desperate need is for more free leaders. That's our mission. That's our vision. It's not just about the product. We have great products.
His little smug smile. I never see a genuine smile from this guy.
We have more coming. We're going to be delivering to you great science forever. But it's not just about the product. It's about building leaders. If you will remember this, if you will get this into your minds and never let it go, that your job is to build leaders, not to sell product. The selling of the product is just the process that nurtures the growth of the leader.
Caught in 480p in this 2009 quality video. Your job is not to sell products, but to build leaders. Knock, knock, knock. Federal Trade Commission. Knock, knock, knock. SEC. Knock, knock, knock. Department of Justice. We have a pyramid scheme for you if you're interested. Here's a video of the CEO who's been running the company since 2006. Here he is in 2009 saying, your job is not to sell products, but to build leaders in a company who is part of what they claim is the direct sales industry.
The goal, the end goal, is to build the people into free, hope-filled leaders. Now, my friends, here we are at the very first global convention that this company has held since Kurt and I became the management part of this company.
Damn, this is the first one.
You've seen the other members of the team. They're strong. We're small today. Very, very small.
Padding it.
The day will come in the very near future when you'll think back on this little room And you will say, I remember when we were there in Busan and we had that little group. My own downline's bigger than that group now. That's what you will say.
Look at all the fucking people in this room. Let's say there's 5,000 people here. In order for let's assume that every single person in this room was still in Unicity. How long? What was the interval of time he said? Oh, he just says in the future, we'll look back on this. Okay, just in the future. Okay, let's say that today in 2025, all of these people who are in this video are still in Unicity to this day. Nobody's quit, nobody's left, nobody's died. Okay. For all of these people to have a downline, he said, we'll look back on this room and think my whole downline is bigger than that now. So this is hard for our brains to imagine because we did not evolve to comprehend such big numbers. If I tell you $100 million, if I tell you visualize in your mind $100 million versus if I tell you picture in your mind $1 billion, you're going to have trouble thinking of two different things because we literally cannot visualize what 100 million of something looks like or 100 billion. We literally can't comprehend it. So let's say there's 5,000 people in this room. He's saying in the future, what you will say, he's declaring this, that's what you will say, that my whole downline is bigger than that now. So imagine all of these people individually has a downline equivalent to this entire crowd. Everyone in this room has a downline of people equivalent to everyone in this room. Now, let's say it's 5,000 people in here. All you have to do is 5,000 times 5,000. We're talking 25 million people. So you're telling me that you have a country's worth of people who's all of whom are in Unicity. I mean, it's just, again, when you actually deconstruct these words, I don't even think this is a nitpick. He's literally saying, you'll look back on this and think my whole downline is more than the amount of people than is in this room.
Can you see it in your mind?
Rav is in the back whooping and clapping. Bro, Rav would have been a kid at this time still.
When I wake up in the morning, you know what I think about? I think about a stadium filled with 100,000 people, all Unicity leaders. I see it in my mind.
What?
People. All Unicity leaders.
100,000. Okay.
I see it in my mind. I see literally tens of thousands of people earning so much money every month that they are so free that they can do anything that they want to do with their life. They can put their children in the best schools.
Did you see Always Marco in this vision of the future? This guy thinks that's so Raven. Did you see Always Marco making a video about your company even though he was in grade 7 at this time?
They live in the best neighborhoods. They don't have debt. They don't have a boss. They don't have those worries that most people struggle with. That's what I see every morning in the morning. I think about it again throughout the day. I think about it at night. I carry it in my pocket to remind me every time I touch my pocket that the vision is big. The power is here. We're going to achieve it with you and the people out there who want what we all want.
Being the Lulu is the Salulu.
Now, the rest of this day will be dedicated to talking about the power of the product and the power of the business and how you can use these things to grow leaders. But please remember the lesson of the karate experts. They were experts because they practiced until they could do it with a blindfold over their eyes. Was that impressive? Yes. It was impressive because we intuitively knew what it took to deliver that kind of performance.
I literally give better speeches than this off the top of my fucking head. I literally give better MLM mindset trainings off the top of my head.
That's what we've got to become. We've got to become, in the words of the Japanese language, mushin, able to do it without even thinking about it. Literally, no mind, no thought, automatic, practice, strengthen, practice.
Robots, no thought, no mind. Wouldn't you love that? Isn't that the best way to make people subservient and obedient to you? No thoughts, no mind, automatic. Language, LOL.
I noticed this morning the people from Thailand out in the parking lot.
Yeah, the only way you can do this is with a blindfold. That's so true. So true.
And what were they doing? These are the
If we fill up this donut goal, I'll do an MLM mindset training for sure.
leaders. These are the top people. And what were they doing? Practicing, practicing, practicing.
We didn't even see the karate guys. I mean, they were probably Taekwondo because this is in South Korea. And that's such a boomer thing to just call every martial art karate, even if it's different, you know?
Again and again. And that's why if we were to go to Thailand and have a meeting like this, there would be 5 or 6 times this many people in the room. There's power. Now, I'm going to say goodbye to you now, and you won't have to watch that video of me anymore, and neither will I. But I want to tell you how much I care about you.
I want to tell you how much I care about you. I'm going to reenact it. I want to tell you how much I care about you. Does that look like the face of somebody genuine? I want to tell you how much I care about you. The most smug, fucking inauthentic smile ever. Watch it again.
But I want to tell you how much I care about you.
You're not even like when you're not even convincing yourself of your bullshit.
This is a special moment for me. The company has come a long way. You have come a long way. But remember this, the best is yet to come. Thank you.
No, that is not a standing ovation, brother. Should we fast forward to 2024? Oh, always Marco. Should we fast forward? Oh, always Marco. Should we fast forward to 2024 and see what he's talking about? Oh, is this the one where he gets an award from his own company? Oh, dude, that's such a good one. Hold on. Yeah, oh, dude, this one is so fucking funny. This is from 2022. Okay, it's their big conference in, I think it's in South Korea. No, it's in Bangkok. Dude, he receives an award from his own company. That's like if you owned a record label and you, like, awarded yourself a plaque, a plaque from your own record label. That's like if you owned a store and you gave yourself Employee of the Month, you know? It's so funny. Let me see if I have it here.
건강기능식품, 화장품, 생활용품 등 400여 종의 제품을 공급하여 더 나은 삶을 지향하는 사람들에게 차별화된 커뮤니티로 직접 판매 사업을 주기차게 이끌고 계십니다.
Since your inauguration as CEO of Unicity International in 2006, you have set Make Life Better as a corporate philosophy and supplied about 400 products of health, functional foods, cosmetics, and personal care goods based on the expansion of world-leading production facility and unrivaled unique technology.
Mind you, this is his company. These people work for him in some way or another.
특히 식이섬유 베이스의 대표 브랜드 바이오스 라이프 제품군과
Bios Life. Bios Life. Skip ahead. Here, oh, look at that.
The brand contains the ingredients BioSlife products, the dietary fiber-based representative brands, and vitamins and
Some diamond-encrusted trifold plaque.
minerals.
You know?
더 나아가
Some plastic dollar store ruby plaque.
인류의 건강한 삶을 위한 사업자 글로벌
Your mankind comes from Unicity distributors' everyday practice in Make Life Better. Thanks to the example and leadership you have shown, I was able to achieve a remarkable success of becoming a global ambassador.
Mans only knows how to smile with that smug smile that you get from people as you're like, if you're on a walk and somebody's walking their dog and you like pass them and they just go like.
이에 깊은 존경과
And then he was one of the observers in Squid Game, you know, watching the people kill each other.
미주 M 이용재
August 7, 2022,
It's a Nintendo DS, lol.
Global Ambassador Mijin Park and Yoongjae Lee.
네, 큰 박수
Nijun
부탁드립니다.
Park. I think she is the biggest Unicity distributor in South Korea.
Very much, everyone. Please give a big round of applause.
대장님께 목에 금메달을
She's actually, I think Miju Park appears in my Unicity video in the very opening like montage bit you see her, even though you don't actually like see her by name. But if you go back and rewatch the Unicity video, a bunch of the characters who show up later in the video are in that opening montage. I selectively picked those clips for that.
걸어드리도록 하겠습니다. 회장님은 네트워크 컴퍼니의 CEO 중에 챔피언이십니다.
You are indeed the champion, and that is why we present the gold medal to you.
Apparently this is in Thailand, but he was speaking Korean. Okay. I can't believe this. Stuart, this literally would have been in the rehearsal for this convention. This literally would have been like part of the agenda, which you undoubtedly have final say over. This is your company. He's like, I can't believe this. He's the owner. Why are they giving him a medal? Thanks for scamming all of us. That's what's so twisted about it, is that these people are literally praising him for scamming them. Thank you, Stuart, for scamming us. Thank you.
So let us hear a few words from Stuart.
Oh my God. Come on. You've done this. Believe it.
Such a beautiful relationship. I guess we don't have anything else to say.
You guys shouldn't have. Now read the script I wrote.
Miss Miju Park and Young Jali already spoke from our hearts, from Unicity leaders. Please give them one more round of applause.
He's shocked. He's stunned. Can't believe you've done this.
So, when I met Miju Park in 2011, she was brand new to our company. But there was something that came into my head that she was very special.
Such a fucking scammer.
And that she would rise in our company and make a great difference in the success of Unicity worldwide. I remember telling that to Christopher and Bobby Kim. I don't think they believed me. But I've seen this day for years now. And for years, I've known that she would become the #1 distributor in Unicity. And she,
all of Unicity.
She has.
Damn. Think of the lives that have been fucked over by Miju Park, you know?
Now the question is, what about you? What is your destiny? What dreams do you have?
He's not crying, it's just sweat.
The moment you decide that you're going to chase your dream, no matter what, the world begins to open up for you. It doesn't matter whether this is your first month in Unicity or your 15th year in Unicity. It doesn't matter. Because the change happens inside of here and here. And when the change happens, your future changes.
Such a bullshit way of like framing it as this subjective thing. Like, well, if you didn't succeed, you hadn't made the heart or mind shift that you needed to. You needed to decide. As though anyone decides anything. You think anyone decides to be sick? You think anyone decides to be fat? You think no, bro. I love the fitness one because this is one that like some people will say like, oh, if you're fat, you chose to be fat because you chose to put the food in your mouth and whatever. And yes, it is true. You chose to eat whatever you ate. However, it's not, somebody didn't eat that bad food because they thought, I'm eating this because I want to be fat and that's what I'm working towards. Them eating food that makes them fat is a result of a lack of knowledge and or discipline, which is completely separate from their own personal desires. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's anybody on this earth who wouldn't like to be able to snap their fingers and look like a superhero and still eat whatever they want. It's not that simple, is what I'm trying to say here. And it's certainly not that simple in MLM either.
But you have to see it in your mind. You have to live it out in your mind. Every day, every day, every day. You have to see what you want to be. Because the world will beat you down. The world will push you down. The world will try to stop you, to distract you, to discourage you. But you can see you into the future if you choose every day, every day, every day. Your business will climb a wall of problems. That's how you climb. Every problem will be another step up if you see it in your mind every day, every day, every day.
He thought that was a bar. He thought going bonk sound. Bonk. Bruh. Oh my god. What the hell? Just like all of the brain rot sound effects at once, you know? Bonk sound for real. He thought that was a bar. Every day, every day, every day. Think it, dream it, do it. Every day, every day, every day. What up, Joseph? Marco, you're super articulate. Thank you, thank you. I'm very humble about it. Do you read a lot? What do you read? I honestly don't. I suck at reading. I just don't have the attention span to sit and read. I listen a lot. I think a lot. I listen to a lot of I listen to audiobooks. I listen to podcasts. I listen to, you know, I think if you listen to good speakers, you'll end up being a good speaker. There's this sort of like osmosis where, you know, there's the thing of like people who they'll go to Australia for a few years and they come back and they have like a slight accent. I think it's only natural that you start to sort of emulate or mirror people that you're around constantly. This can be just like you might learn a new language. If you immerse yourself in a country where they speak a different language, eventually you'll pick up the language. It's the same thing. And I also think the same is true with music or whatever you're listening to. Like if you listen to rap music constantly, you'll probably end up like, you know, using more slang in your day-to-day life or talking less eloquently. And if you listen to people who talk eloquently, I don't know, it just feeds in. You get influence, you know? I'm sure we've all had like friend groups who we have like inside jokes or like words that we say. Oh, damn. Wow, Anna Marie Fella, legend.
Dropped a bag $49.99 pawn super chat. Contact. I've missed so many lives for months. So happy I made it to this one.
Money.
Anna Marie Fella is a legend. Y'all gotta back up. Y'all gotta back up the Brinks truck and roll out the red carpet for her. She's a legend. Thank you so much, Anna Marie Fella. I've missed you and I appreciate you. Goon Tax, I've missed so many lives for months. I hope you're good. I hope it's not because of anything, you know, cataclysmic going on in your life. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Anna Marie Fella, putting on a good example for all of the goons, paying that goon tax. You know, this fireplace over here ain't cheap. We use the most premium logs in the world every day, every day, every day. Okay, apparently audiobook counts as reading. Gunshot, 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 I got you. And thumbs up the thing too. Yeah, you know, I think the best speaker that I've ever witnessed, Roman, about the articulation point, Roblox, oof. The best speaker, I think, is Christopher Hitchens, rest in peace. He had such a razor-sharp wit. And I think what it truly means to be articulate is to get your point across in as few words as possible. I actually think that's the best communication. When you're able to make your point as succinctly as possible, not by using big words and droning on, but by actually saying it very quickly and precisely. Grace says, you have to see what you want to be. I'm doing it backwards. Because you can see you in the future. Bars. You know? I think Marco picked up an Indian accent after being back in Canada for a few days. Yeah, I did. For sure. Speaking of Roblox, there was a guy at the gym today who was on... I did legs today. There was a guy at the gym today who was on the leg extension machine. Okay. I told him, yo, I'm going to jump on after you. He was like, okay. Now, you'd think you would take this as a sign to, like, get it moving because you know someone is now waiting for this machine. And this guy, he was a young guy. Maybe he was like 20. White guy. And when I first went over to him to say that I was going to jump on the machine after him, he was holding his phone horizontally like this. Now, you only hold your phone horizontally if you're doing one of three things. Watching a YouTube video, filling out an Excel spreadsheet, which you probably wouldn't be doing on the phone to begin with, or playing a game. And I thought to myself, I saw his thumbs moving. I thought, is this motherfucker playing a game at the gym whilst hogging one of only 2 leg extension machines in the whole gym and the only leg extension machine that is of the kind that I want to use? I thought, surely it's not possible. So I went around. I went behind him where he couldn't see me, and I looked over his shoulder. This motherfucker was playing Roblox. Now, I sometimes play Roblox with my nieces because they're children and they like to play it. They like to play Dress to Impress, which is a fashion show game where you take your blank avatar and each round there's a different theme and you have to take the stock clothes and hairstyles that are available, and in the 3 minutes before the fashion show starts, you have to wear an outfit that reflects the theme, and then you walk down the catwalk and you press some buttons that pose, and then at the end, all of the people who were involved vote on who the winners are. Now, I play that with my nieces because they're children. You know what I don't do is play it by myself. And you know what I super don't do? Play it by myself at the gym when there are people waiting to use the fucking machine that I'm sitting on. So I'm like, okay, I'll do some steps. I need to get my steps in. I'll do some laps around the fucking area and just wait for him to be done. Some time goes by. He puts the phone down. He finally does a set. It was a bullshit set. Finishes the set. I thought, surely it's over now. Picks his phone back up. Straight to YouTube Shorts. Are you insane? Are you actually fucking insane? And it just went on and on and on. Finally, and I'm not that guy, but finally I went over and I was like, hey bro, how many more are you gonna do? He's like, oh, just one more. I was like, okay. Now you super know. Before you knew, but now you super know that somebody is wanting to use this machine, right? Because now you've got the kick in the pants to say, not only did I tell you I was going to use it after you, now it's later, and I've asked you, how many do you have left? And my man still just chills on it. Chills on it. It was literally, I can't believe you've done this in real life. It was insane. Joseph saying that I got an Indian accent after being in Canada. Yeah, I mean, look, bro. I have some thoughts. I have some thoughts about the immigration that's in Canada ever since I've been back. You know, it's only been a couple weeks that I've been here. And I've seen some things already where I'm like, you know what? Command Z. Command Z, the whole thing. Because, I don't know. I'll talk about this with my cousin Gabby on the second channel stream that I do sometime in the next week. I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but I've definitely got some thoughts about it, and yeah. Okay. What up, Queen of Karma? Write to your MP and Attorney General. Yes, yes. I've got to do that still. Queen of Karma says, my daughter loves that game. Dress to impress. Yep.
If you have a chance, you have to take it when you get the chance. You can't leave it for tomorrow. If you have a dream, you have to chase it, because the dream won't chase you. You have to chase it. If you're filled with fear, you have to fight through it. Now, we spend so much time and energy and money.
Treytino, you're going to get me fucking started, and please don't get me started. Treytino said, my one friend was like, oh, it's stolen land anyway, when I brought up Canadian culture. I have to try so hard not to give... my blood boils when I hear shit like that. My temperature starts to rise.
On this third day, because we want you to see it.
Why would that make you cry, Stuart?
So many people have said to me, why do you put so much money, so much energy into recognition? And the answer is because of you. We want you to see it.
I want more money.
To feel it. We want you to be able to go home from this event and say, that's going to be me. That's going to be me up here. Now, in another 2 years, we'll have another Global Leadership and Innovation Conference. We'll have another event like this. It'll be bigger.
Oh, they do it every 2 years. Damn. Okay, so the one I was at was the one that he's referring to that took place after this, the 2024 conference.
The question is, where will you be? Will you be bigger? That's the choice you have to make. Where will you be in 2 years?
So many people say, who show them, right? What up, Herman, the Great Variety channel. Appreciate you.
You can choose, but you have to see it in here every day, every day, every day. So where will we have this next GLIC, this next Global Leadership and Innovation Conference? Any ideas?
Thailand? Is it Thailand?
Oh man, let's take a look at what our possibilities are. You stay here.
Is it Thailand? And Always Marco is gonna go there and make a video about it. An amazing video, probably one of his best, if not his best.
I think I know what Cambodia wants. So, roll the film.
Can we please see the video to watch where we're going in 2 years?
Let's watch the video first.
Relax, you know. In jail, I hope. LOL.
Who's Stuart?
To invite the Chairman's Club members and Diamonds to join Stuart on stage with our global ambassadors to watch where the next location is.
Oh, somebody fucked up. Somebody's getting fired. Nobody's rolling the video.
Shall we watch the video together? To see where we go next, TLIC.
Thailand?
In Las Vegas 2024, but we need to get together in 2023.
Las Vegas? What do you mean? I was at their 2024 Global Leadership Innovation Conference, and it was in Thailand.
So, we're going to
Had Thai that runtime for real.
global
Stretching it.
one of three places.
Okay.
One of three places. And you leaders in these three places are going to be able to determine where we hold that mini global convention in 2023. Remember, the big one, 2024, Las Vegas, Nevada. But the mini one in 2023 will be in either Tokyo, Japan, Vietnam, or Phnom Penh, Cambodia. So, you get to choose. The market that grows the most in the next 6 months will get that mini global convention.
The group that scams the most people and gives me the most money will reward you by hosting another scam within the scam, a paid ticketed conference that you have to pay for if only you're successful at spending the most money and scamming the most people to spend the most money to put into my pocket. It's such an amazing... MLM is such an amazing fantasy land of a world that you could literally, you know, do what I just said, scam people, and then have them cheer and clap and cry and be excited for you scamming them, and then reward them with more scamming them as a reward for scamming them. Can't make this shit up.
So, Cambodia?
Yeah, you get to buy a ticket, then pay out of pocket to travel after spending who knows how much money on Unicity products to increase your PV and your TV and your GV and your OV.
Vietnam, Japan, up to you.
You know? Absolutely can't believe you've done this. I have more. I honestly, I could go on, bro. What's this one? Oh, it's 2023. Oh, see, this is the one. South Asia Convention. So Southeast Asia Convention. So this was the one where it was the mini conference. And where did it take place? Thailand. So, okay, nothing went according to plan, I guess. The Vegas thing wasn't in Vegas, I guess. And the mini convention wasn't in one of the three places that he said it was going to be in, unless these are labeled incorrectly.
International, Stewart Hughes.
OBGYN, right? It's like a scam battle pass. Yeah, it's the season pass for scamming, you know? Is this... I don't think I used clips of... Oh, no, it was this one. This was the one I used clips of in my video about how, you know, before going to the 2024 conference, I watched footage from the 2023. But this is actually the one I went to. This was when I met Stuart. This is the 2024 conference in Thailand. Let's check this out. Sawadi Kop, he says. Stuart, don't appropriate my culture. Don't Sawadi Kop these people. Don't Sawadi Kop kun sabadi mai ka these this is my Thailand is my country, okay?
Well, it's good to be here. Are you ready to climb the mountain with me? Well, I'm ready to climb it with you. We have work to do. Before I start, let me just say thank you to those leaders who have spoken to us this morning. Power, excitement, energy, and most of all, mindsets that will take you to success.
Mindset mentioned.
I hope you learned from them, but mostly I hope you felt the power of their mindset.
Sneaker Shop Talk, dropping facts. In 2 years, 99.9% of the people in attendance at this event won't be in the company anymore. Yep.
Everyone in this room can be so much more than they currently are. We know this in our minds, but we need to begin to believe it in our hearts. We need to have a vision of who we can be and a vision of what we can do. People have asked me over the last few years many times. They have said, Stuart, why are you still working? You are so old. Friends my age, they've retired. They say to me, why are you still working?
Because I'm just such a good guy and I love helping people.
You have so much money, you don't need any more money. Why are you working? So I want to answer that question for you today. Why am I still working? To do that, I need to introduce you to three of my heroes.
Oh, God.
I want you to meet
Bernie Madoff. Charles Ponzi. Sam Bankman-Fried. I want you to meet three of my heroes. Harvey Weinstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Some other Jewish guy. I want you to meet three of my heroes. Chase Sanders. What's the guy's name too who said he was unsubscribed because of my because of what I said about Israel on the last stream? Chase Sanders, Seth Eisenberg. You know? I want you to meet three of my heroes. I'm just literally fucking milking this. Thank you, Tretino, for the reminder to download my reel and post it on Instagram. Thank you. Always Marco on Instagram. Motherfuckers in my DM requests. You should look into WFG. The place is a cult from what I've heard. You must be new here. Literally seconds worth of research would tell you, would show you that your message would, it would take less time to do the research to find out that I have talked about WFG than to actually send me a message saying you should look at WFG. Literally. You know?
James Lind. James Lind.
John Smith.
Was a British Navy medical doctor.
Imagine, yeah, Grace, great comment. Imagine all the scamming, friends lost, money spent just to show up and have him tell you, you could be so much more, you know? Chase Sanders is the only one that matters. I always wonder if he knows. Yeah, I wonder if Chase Sanders knows that his name has, like, you know, lived in infamy in the live streams. You know, like, I wonder if Chase Sanders, just for the fuck of it, ever since that live stream in 2023 or whenever it was, I wonder if he ever like was like, let me just tap in with a live stream and see what's going on, and we're still shitting on him. For those of you who don't know, Chase Sanders was a guy who followed me. I have no idea what he looks like. I don't know who he is. He was just somebody who was in a chat one day. I need to, bro, did I feel like I might have, just because I'm so like, because it's such a moment, I feel like I might have even went back and edited the title of that stream to like include his name in it. Chase Sanders. No, but if anybody knows off the top of their head which stream is the Chase Sanders stream, I'll definitely go put it back in the title, and then I know I made a chapter marker in that stream of which one was the Chase Sanders one. But he was just some guy that was in the chat that like he didn't like the way I did something, or maybe he was like, I don't know, he said something about like get back to the topic and don't talk about whatever you're talking about, something like that, and he was like, I'm out. And I went on this whole bit about like, oh no, sorry guys, I guess I have to end the stream now. Chase Sanders is leaving. I understand if you don't want to keep watching. And then everyone just dogpiled him and was like, no Chase Sanders, I'm out. And then somebody else would come and be like, I only come here, I only watch the live stream for Chase Sanders. Sorry, bro, I can't support you anymore. They just like, it wasn't like mean spirited, but it was just like, fuck this guy, you know? Thank you, Roman. Appreciate you. Collab with Julie Anderson coming soon. Yes, indeed. I was at Indigo Chapters and was looking for a business help section, and twice guy told me that I can own my own business and retire. They were from Amway. Wow, that's probably such a good place to find Amway people. I should do some hidden camera Amway interactions with people at like a bookstore by just hanging out in the self-help section and see if I can catch any. Spartan, I want to correct you. Spartan says it was funny when Marco threw the welcome package in the trash in his trip to South Korea. I did not stage that or set that up. That was literally like that. There was a welcome package sitting in the trash inside Amway. Peace out, Sharia.
During the 1700s and before, nearly 70%
Please welcome Martin Shkreli, our guest speaker. So funny.
of every ship's crew on a long voyage would die before the ship returned home.
What a poetic comparison, because most people on this ship are going to die before they get home.
70%. Nearly 3/4 of all the sailors would die on the voyage.
Not nearly as bad statistics as people in your company losing money. So I like where you're headed with this.
They would die from a disease that produced these kinds of symptoms, and no one knew what caused it. James Lind, as a doctor, was on these ships, and he was puzzled. What is killing all the sailors? And in 1747, he conducted a study, and he discovered that lime juice, lemon juice, what we now know as simple vitamin C, would absolutely make the disease go away. 1747. That was written.
Scurvy?
And it took 50 years.
Yeah, 7 years ago type shit, for real.
Before the British Navy accepted his research and changed the protocols in the Navy. 50 years after that study. Let me introduce you to someone else, a hero of mine. This is Ignaz Semmelweis.
Never mind.
In 1846, Ignaz Semmelweis was a young Hungarian doctor, brilliant doctor. In fact, he was so brilliant, he was able to be hired as a doctor in the #1 hospital in Europe, Vienna General Hospital.
He was a great doctor, such a great doctor. In fact, one of the best doctors. He was so good that they hired him. They hired him in a hospital. It was the best hospital, Vienna. Great place. I know Vienna. Nobody knows Vienna like me, frankly. And you can ask a lot of people in Vienna. They know me, and they know me so well. So.
And there is this young Dr. Semmelweis serving in this world-renowned hospital as the assistant head of the maternity section of the hospital. He was responsible for all of the birthing that came into the hospital, all of the pregnant mothers who came to have their babies delivered in that world-class hospital. Dr. Semmelweis was responsible for them. And he noticed something that was strikingly tragic. In the hospital, there were 2 sections of the maternity part of the hospital. One section was run by midwives, women who had been trained to help other women give birth. The other section was run by the world-class medical doctors of Vienna General Hospital. And what Dr. Semmelweis was confused about was that the doctor section with these world-class doctors had 500% more death in their section than the midwives had in their section.
How can you have 500% more death? If 100% of people die, it's over, right?
5 times more women would die under the care of the doctors than the ones under the care of the untrained
What up, Fernando? Lock in. Wednesday, Saturday, lock in.
midwives. He was
Maternity head, yes, please. LOL.
How could this be?
We actually talked about Dave Ramsey earlier, Roman. Rewatch the stream if you missed it.
He looked at everything he could study, only pointed to one thing. There must be something on the hands of the doctors that wasn't on the hands of the midwives.
Okay, we get it. Germs. Now, let's get on to the third part. Who's the next person?
It was many years later. This beautiful young lady was born in 1689. Her name is Lady Mary Montagu.
What did she discover?
For the rest of her life. Her husband had been given the assignment to be ambassador to a country we call Turkey now.
I'm joking, Yoy. I'm joking.
They went to Israel. No sign of anyone suffering from this disease. All the women, all the men had beautiful skin. She was wondering, how does this happen? The first social media post. And as she explained it, she found letters coming back to her from her friend. The concept was crazy. I think this may have been the first TikTok. That's stupid. No one's going to do that.
Wait, I missed it. Do what?
She wrote a letter after discovering, and in this letter she tells her friends about this unusual practice that's being done in Turkey.
Okay, what is it?
Inoculation. The concept was crazy.
Okay. Vaccines, okay. So hand washing, vitamin C, vaccines.
Find a solution.
Now he's going to say, and when we discovered our fucking powder in a plastic bag, we realized that it's actually like that. You know?
We have to get very, very intense about this. We can't worry about what those people think or what those people think. It doesn't matter what they think. All that matters is who we save. When people say to me, oh, I don't want to do this. I say, I'm trying to save your life.
Relax.
I'm trying to save your life.
Hey, Stuart, I don't need you to save my life or anybody's life. We can eat healthy and exercise. We don't need to drink this magical powder and pay $200+ a month for it and join your mathematically impossible endless chain multi-level marketing scheme where by your own fudged documents admission, most people lose money. Thank you, though. Yeah, daddy chill dog gif for real.
Let's get their attention. 75% of the people in North America are overweight or obese. They have metabolic dysfunction.
Yeah, including you, Stuart. Including you.
They probably have diabetes.
Diabetes.
Probably have heart disease. They're probably going to have Alzheimer's or dementia very soon, if not already. We're trying to save your life.
I mean, it's such a to the point of being like a meme, a stereotype, how cults make you believe that you've been anointed by God or that you're literally saving the world or that the world is going to end. You know, think of like Heaven's Gate. They all killed themselves because they thought the world was going to end and this was the way to save their soul and move on to the next dimension or whatever the fuck they believed. And, you know, Scientology, same thing. They think they're saving the world. You know, the Moonies, they think they're saving the world. Jonestown, I'm sure they thought that God, you know, it was all about God. God told them to do this, God told them to do that. Even think about like religious extremists who blow themselves up. They think that's what God wants them to do. And because God is an unverifiable and unfalsifiable thing, you can't disprove God. They'll say, well, you can't disprove it. Well, you know, there's a saying, that which can be claimed without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. If you make a claim, the onus is on you to provide the proof. Big claims require big proof. So, you know, religious extremists, I mean, I think every person who believes in a magical, mystical wizard in the sky who decides on who wins the football game and who gets cancer and who doesn't, I think you're an extremist if you believe in that to begin with. But for the sake of what I'm trying to say here, the religious extremists who do things like blow themselves up or like, you know, perform honor killings on members of their family or whatever, that is because they've been so thoroughly misled and brainwashed into believing God wants them to do it. People like in the Heaven's Gate cult who killed themselves because they believed it was the way that they were going to be saved. And, you know, this is the exact same. Look at him. Look at this image here. The light shining on him. The pose with, you know, the power pose with the with the claw out like that, you know, the lights, the camera, the passion, the impassioned speech, the dead eyes. You know, the fact that what he's pointing out as the problem is something he himself, it's like the emperor's new clothes, you know? The emperor the emperor walks around naked, and he's told that the clothes that he's wearing are so divine that only his that everyone else can see them, just not him. So he walks around naked, and everyone has to just act like he's not naked as to not insult him, you know? Stewart talking about most people being fat or obese like he is. Oh, he's overweight. It's just remarkable, you know? It's just so obvious. It's so obvious, the cultism here.
People in Japan are tracking North America's numbers. People in Korea are tracking North America's numbers. Europe is even with North America's numbers. The Middle East is actually ahead of North America's numbers. What will you do? What will you do? That's the question. Will you be weak? Will you be shy? Will you be someone that says, "Oh, I don't want to be rocking the boat. I don't want to have anybody think that I'm doing anything crazy"? Or will you be strong? I'm trying to save your life.
LOL. To the initiated like us, like the goons, all you can do is laugh at this. It's just so fucking stupid. That's also a good way to de-boogeyman scary people in your mind or things that had once had control over you, is to just realize how fallible they are and just laugh at them.
When you leave this event this weekend, I hope you leave with one deep, burning desire that you are going to be someone who makes a difference in this world. Yes, you will make a lot of money. Yes, you will have a wonderful life. Yes, you'll do all kinds of wonderful things. It'll be fantastic. But none of that matters more than changing the world will matter. When you're on your deathbed, when you are at the point of death, will you care about the money?
When I'm on my deathbed, I'll be glad that I wasted years of my life and untold amounts of money on that multi-level marketing scheme that alienated me from my friends and family because I thought they were haters and dream stealers, guilty of stinking thinking, who didn't believe in me when actually they were just trying to have my best interests at heart and warn me to not get scammed by this multi-level marketing scheme. And things were never really the same after that, and I kind of had to hang my head and, you know, be ashamed of that part of my life henceforth. But now that I'm on my deathbed, I'm really glad that I did that.
Will you care about jets and vacations? No. You will care about whether you changed the world. That's what you will care about. So think about that question. Think about what you're going to do about that question. But for me, I know what I'm doing. I'm here. I'm going to work. I'm going to hit it as hard as I can hit it.
We're seeing that Mormon preacher background really come through in these speeches.
I'm going to get up early. I'm going to stay up late. I'm going to travel, and work because I'm trying to save your life. Thank you.
So fake and gay, you know? The one, I think I included the most important clips of these, the Save 10. Yeah, Save 10 from people in, I talked about that in my, in the main video about Unicity. Crazy shit. Fake and gay is the best meme too. So true. Well, that's all I got for today. I mean, Stuart Hughes, what else can I say but fuck this guy? You know, fill out your FTC report, your Canadian Competition Bureau report, and, you know, I'm going to keep working towards, you know, I posted a thing recently about how I really want to do public speaking at high schools and universities to not just talk about multi-level marketing, but just scams in general and just grifters and promises that are too good to be true that you're going to come across in general, and how, you know, a lot of success in life is dependent more so on just avoiding doing the wrong things than even doing the right things. So, you know, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. You know, the lawsuits at this point, I've just accepted that they're a part of activism, you know, getting sued, getting harassed, getting hate messages, getting the bullshit. It's just part of trying to make a difference in the world, which is ironically what people like Stewart talk about. In his case, it's just a lie. But that's actually what I'm trying to do. So I hope the speaking engagements thing can take shape soon. The free guide that I talked about earlier in the stream is coming soon. Yeah, way too boisterous for the Mormons. Well, that's why he's on his own thing. Well, shit. That's all I got, y'all. My haircut looks great. My skin looks great. Everything's great. The weather was great. What else can you do? I was supposed to go see Fantastic Four tomorrow with my cousin Gabby, but I double booked, so I had to cancel it, and I feel bad because he already bought a ticket, and I hope he can get it refunded, but if he doesn't, I'm just going to send him the money, and it's money going down the drain for nothing, which we love. We love it. So yeah, appreciate you guys. I will be back on Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You love it. You love the consistency of the streams again. You love them being on the same days after a year and a half of them being sort of sporadic. You miss having 2 a week instead of 1 a week. You love it. You're dying for it. Yeah, appreciate y'all. And subscribe to Always Marco 2. I'll be doing a stream there, the next stream I do. So actually, it might not be the next stream because I might do one on this channel on Saturday. But keep your ear to the streets and whatnot. If you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. You'll get notified in there of when I go live. That's the whole community of goons. We're all in there. It's like the YouTube chat, but 24/7, and you can put pictures and links. And also, alwaysmarcomerch.com. You can get the Losing Fortunes Radio shirt, and you can use the code GOONS for a discount. We love that. And I also need to check in on our boys, Scott and Peter, Losing Fortunes Radio, to see if, I mean, I'm sure Scott has done an episode talking about his appearance in Delaware for the public comment period for the HB 162 thing that I talked about before. Yeah. Drink more water, always. So yeah, we might have to do a Losing Fortunes Radio episode as well. You love to see it. And I love to see y'all, and I appreciate y'all. So yeah, a very calm and peaceful sign off. Peace out, y'all. Peace out.
Marco. I gotta get the bag. I took a full load. Yeehaw. Do you like me?
I'm letting you bury yourself. Because once you're done burying yourself and you dig yourself into a hole that's so freaking deep, I'm gonna just show you how stupid you really are.